Mia, thank you so much for the lurk. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. No. This is a 30-second clip of laughing. I'm glad. It is good to see you though. You have a good lurk, baby. That's so pretty. It's like I could just be like or the alternative. Oh my god, it's the Gossip Girl one. Oh, forget about it. That one, I printed it out and hang it. It's hung up over my monitors. Because I love it. Sora! 25 months! Oh my goodness. Hello. Thank you. How are you? Ah! Good to see you too. No, I can't make morning streams because I'm asleep. But I'm going to sleep late. Ooh, hell yeah. Going to sleep late is fun in the nighttime, but not later typically in my experience. What is here? Oh, is this the monitor? Okay. I realized that my phone thing, my phone camera, not in the right position. Late, I say, like it's not 9 a.m. Hey, listen. Wait, are we in the same time zone? I didn't know that. Did you know? I do know that it's time for stream to start, baby, baby. Oh my god, I'm gonna put my phone over there. I got magic cards over here. This isn't where they go. Icy Soul, 21 months. Oh my god. I hope I continue to be part of the family. Oh my goodness, that's so sweet. Yes, yes, yes. Wait, what's happening in December? Where are you leaving? You're leaving my time zone? How dare you? How could you? How dare? Hello, everybody, and welcome to my stream. Thank you all for being cool that I took a week off from streaming. I needed it, but now I'm doing good. Numbers day. Oh, you're in. Oh, I know. Okay, all right. I hate that that state does that. However, I also really like that it does that because it sets a precedent, for everybody else. But it's confusing. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness, it's great. It's like everybody needs to get on board with that. However, nobody will, and it's so annoying. All right, babies, check it out. So not last week, but the week before, I took a break, a week off last week from Wednesday, Thursday streams. We finished case 9 of 10 in all of the games, basically. So today we are going to be starting up the final case. However, oh, I didn't load the game up. However, it's still sort of in the middle of the case. So like, I don't know what that's gonna mean. I don't know what we're in for. Look at that mouse. Look at that mouse. Ah. All right, baby. Let's load up. Oh, let's turn the music off. I'm out of practice. I gotta remember everybody's voices. Continue. The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ace Attorney. I love your Ace Attorney streams. It's great. I've been playing these exclusively for a while. Final chapter! Oh, there's probably spoken dialogue. I'll turn this up. Yo, I would love that, Mia. That'd be so fun. Oh. There's not. Okay. I'll put it back down. Jax, hello! Welcome, welcome, welcome. You got a job at Walmart. That's excellent. Oh my... Whoa, the music! It like crashed in. So the time's finally come. Special Comfy Catboy official merch, man. I need to make more of that. I have the store and everything, but I just never. I'm focusing on like my my editing stuff. Like on my card. Yeah, congratulations, Drax. That's super cool. Today we unravel everything. Hello. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Mrs. Sato. Mrs. Sato? I can work the movie broke. I have merch, but it's not. It's just like meme merch. It's chives and a Black Earth sandwich shirt. Excuse me. Oh no, what's the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? It's like you're upside down or something. Nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but I'm so sorry, of course. I shouldn't have, like, thrown you upside down. What was I thinking? I should let you down. Would you mind helping me up to my feet, then? Oh, dear. I'm very, very sorry. I just let my hands get the better of me, and I threw you over the head. Sato-san isn't her usual self at all. That's hardly surprising, I suppose. Oh, that's right. She just found out that their father is the partner of a world-famous detective, not to mention. Good morning, sir. Lord Van Zeeks. You're a vampire man. Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. What? Did I hear that correctly? What? Oh, no, nothing. Just, I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says, I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday. Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Good point. She can just read our mind. It's crazy. So my ice cream shirt. Hell yeah, that's lovely. I really would like to make an embroidered hat of that, and I think the website I go through has the ability to make those, but I just need to, like, sit down and do it, you know? The Reaper, I suppose in hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all this. But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zeeks. It's only because a serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply. That serious crime dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it? To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother, Luigi. That having been slain by an evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returned to some sort of demigod. To wield the deadly blade of justice where I, by dint of the law, could not. Yes, we've heard that story too. You're gonna make posters? Yo, posters! Man, that'd be cool. I don't know if I don't know if Fourth Wall does posters or not. They do a lot of things. Yeah, get that Wi-Fi, Drax. When I lost him. There he is. I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. The buttons or keychains? I'd have to check. Probably. Some things they do are kind of like minimum order, so that becomes difficult, right? Because I have to pay up front for something that maybe won't sell. Even if I knew it was just an illusion, oh my god, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public. He was obviously extremely important to you, Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. So I don't care about your dead brother. I know you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today. I never thought I'd say this, but I can see it in your eyes, that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you. Funny keychains of you and Cozy. Might try drawing it later. Yo. I would not say no. Now tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air? Uh-oh. Oh, Iris, when did you get here? Oh! I brought one of my special blends! Harley loves it. He says I can help to clear his head. I'm 10. I thank you. Oh! That's surely the first and last I'll ever see a sight like this. Gossamer, hello! Welcome, welcome! I hope you didn't miss me too much last week. You seem different today, Iris. Ah? Sort of subdued, I suppose. I am not! I'm 10. I'm allowed to I'm allowed to act this way. Whatever happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Scythe's laboratory. Alright then. Good luck to you both. I have to make a move now. Oh, you're not staying? I thought you'd want to watch today's proceedings. Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready. Get ready for what? Oh, yes. Oh, it's so cute. Would you take this? What do you mean? Isn't that one of the little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your knapsack? Yes, it's a lucky charm. A little Hurley that I made once. A Hurley? Looks more like a Hurley to me. It's for if for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can. What? Pull his ears? That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it. Good morning, G-Mama. Yeah, do it. Get that meeting, baby. I got a little doll, baby. Now look at it. You think that will need its luck? I just sneaked a pig inside the cart room. Don't ask me how I did that. I'm 10, and it seemed very different to normal. Yes, it would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops. What does that mean? What about Mr. Sholmes? Iris? I don't know. Oh, shit. He was out all night and he hadn't come home by the time I left this morning. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Was Professor Mikatoba out all night too, do you think, Mrs. Sato? Oh, yeah, they left on some important business. Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all. They? Father and Judge Jijoku, I mean. Judge Jijoku, too? That's right! Nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday. That's the last time I get to do that. Good luck, Roto! Good luck, Cesar! Yes, thanks, Iris. And you, Mr. Raper, have a good one. Thank you, 10-year-old. I thank you for your delicious tea. It was very soothing. Ah, Sagan! You must go inside now. Lord Vincex! Lord Van Sneaks has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Asugi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. I trust him to be a butthead. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this trial, to this one final reckoning. Oh my God! Put the don't. Put the pressure on, baby. It's 9:30. Oh my God. Why he's standing like that? Where's everyone? Feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. Your cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides today. Ah! Mr. Naruto, look! Oh my God. What? Lord Strongheart. Oh my God. Who could have suspected such a thing? Kazuma must have known beforehand. The ramification... Oh, this is going to be rough because their voices are so similar. I never thought that their two voices would be in such close proximity to one another. Uh-oh. Well, okay. Here we go. The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal system. And then similar Kazuma voice. The escape of a condemned... Well, I gotta figure something out. The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak. His mouth moves so... I don't like the way his mouth is animated. Okay, Strongheart's kind of... Okay, what can I do for him? What can I do? He's like a clock man. Even... I don't know how I never sort of picked up on this, but these two little guys are kind of like clock hands, right? Like, I don't know why I never noticed that part of his design. Very good. I like it. Kazuma being such a pain in Strongheart's butt that he had to come to the judge to try and keep him alive. I don't know. Britain, we'll figure it out. Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial. Whoa! And one over which I, male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority. Oh my god. The 6 jurors' flames just... As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process. Could you not say the word judicial so many times? It's not a good word to say. In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart. On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Van Zieks. You are a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact. What? You're gonna break its horn! In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I'm gonna stand up a lot about it for the trial of Barock Van Zieks, who officially stands accused of murder. Oh, all these new tracks. Counsels for the prosecution and defense. Are you in full readiness to proceed? The defense is ready, my lord. As is the prosecution. It's me, Kazuma, this time. Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that is unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard. Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about. And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice, Mr. Daily Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work, when in fact he wasn't. At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It's me, Lord Strongheart again. It would appear he buried his memories of the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as chief warder at Barclay Prison, he abetted the convict's escape. Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He has recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. It's me, Kazuma. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League. Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion. I do need all this recap because it's been 2 weeks. Proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed earlier, 1 day earlier than we thought. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound. The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord. Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asogi. I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on 31st October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details. But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday, that the time of death was 5 p.m. on 1st November. There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems that the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled. That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse.
My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly. Ow. Wow.
Very well. Updated autopsy report, but helpful for us this time.
Let's go.
Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident. It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities. Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities? Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating that precise matter yesterday. Ah! I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. It's me, Cosmos, and the prosecution calls its first witness now. Hi! I love her. State your name and occupation for the court.
Inspector Gina Lestrade reporting, representative of Scotland Yard.
Self-conferred rank, but never mind.
Gina, again. What's your problem out here?
Just immediately antagonistic.
What's with that Gina again, look at? The boss meant the world to me. He done more for me than anyone else ever did.
Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean?
He got me out the back slums. He got me out the back slums of the East End, and he took me under his wing. Taught me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him. Oh, Gina.
Right. All out of the goodness of Gregson's heart. Not at all that he had his arm twisted by Sholmes, no. What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations yesterday has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about. Very troubling.
That face. What Strongheart knew.
You mean you knew? So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in that report.
Coming right up, sir! It's me, Gina. That's what I sound like. It's me, Gina. All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had loads of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. What matters most is, there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at the place too.
What the hell?
Smuggled goods? I don't know, do I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book.
Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of at regular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time.
So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets?
It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may have been involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority without the Yard's knowledge.
Do we know where the dealings were taking place this time?
In a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentlemen's club.
Gentlemen's club?
And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter.
That can't be. We haven't heard anything about any of this.
Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question the accused, Baroque Van Zeeks, was present. That would be very significant testimony then.
Oh my, but Lord Van Zeeks has made no mention of this at all.
In short, Lord Van Zeeks had ample opportunity to murder the victim.
Ah!
Very well, then. Counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination.
Oh. I will, thank you. Oh, yeah, detectives supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told.
What do you mean?
So, you follow orders, do you, Gina? Nah, not me. I'm above all that, see?
Oh.
The boss always had special orders for me. Grab us some fish and chips and go give Toby his grub, that kind of thing.
So errands more than orders, then. This detective is still an apprentice after all.
Yeah, well, this apprentice ain't one to sit around and wait to be told what to do, even by the boss. That's why I've been doing my own investigation into what happened. I didn't find much at first. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a load of secret written in it. I love secrets.
You went through Inspector Gregson's things?
Yep! As part of the independent Lestrade investigation.
I'm sure your superiors would be delighted that you're taking the initiative.
So I stuck into his office when no one else was about. Because if anyone at the yard had seen me going in there, they'd have turfed me straight on the street.
This is sounding less and less like an investigation and more and more like something else. The prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook.
You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade and a trusty assistant, Chief Inspector Toby. We found it hidden in one of his desk drawers and had a false bottom.
That's impressive. Some light Yagami stuff.
Then I went to hide myself. So then I went to hide myself where no one could find me, so I could have a butcher's at what was written in it. Because if anyone at the yard had found me out, they'd have turfed me straight onto the street. I've given it now, though, ain't I? If it weren't for me, it never would have been found.
That's pretty dope.
According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealings that day.
Do you have any idea where those dealings are taking place?
Yep. It was all in the boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember.
As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club. Yes, I remember, but I was hoping to find out the name of the club. That won't be necessary. What? It's conceivable that the club might be used again by smugglers in the future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name in these proceedings.
I don't know what the fuss is all about. It's right here. All I've got to do is read it out. And I could too. I've got this reading game buttoned up now.
She's learned how to read.
Can't I show you what I could do? Go on, what's the arm?
Judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do? I guess insist. This is a closed court. All the proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked. As I explained, there is some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine. No, my lord, the prosecution has no objection.
Kazuma?
There's no question that Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on that particular trail on the day in question. The defense requires to know the club's name. The prosecution has no intention of being obstructive.
Right then! I get to show off my reading skills!
She's so cute.
Apparently, the smuggled goods deal was going to happen at a gentleman's club called the Grouse.
Hold it! Grouse. I'd love to have secret compartments in my house. As a treat. For fun. As a treat. The Grouse? Does that mean something? I don't know what that means. What sort of, let me Google what a grouse is. It's a bird. It's like a fun little guy. Hold on. This is a grouse, I guess. Grouse, yeah. Look at this Borb. I love him. Got a lot going on. Anyways. Now we all learned something. What sort of club is that? A club for birds?
It's a club for birds. I ain't got the foggiest. Clubs ain't exactly my thing. But I am kind of curious.
They're not places where a foreign student like you would be readily admitted. You looked into the mirror recently? About the level of Cosmo being like, I've been ordered to follow this narrative, but the defense argues against it.
I'll tell you what, me and Chief Inspector Toby could go in undercover.
Could you, though?
I could pick up a few good marks and see what else I could find out when I was in there.
I really don't think you should go picking out anything. Anyway, that's where these black market dealings were going to take place, is it?
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's what the lower-ranking detectives at the yard reckon.
He's silly. It's just the even lower-ranking detective. When they say in today's terminology, a gentleman's club typically means like a strip club. I don't know if it still means that in late 1800s or not. Kazuma picked up some of Van Zeke's anti-Japanese racism. No!
Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't on it yet.
So how would Inspector Gregson come to find out about it in that case?
That's the question, ain't it? But I'm just an apprentice, so.
So why didn't he inform Scotland Yard of his findings?
Yeah, that's what I was asking myself, because, you know, I'm just an apprentice. I'm just a happy little apprentice, don't mind me.
Then it suits you, yes.
Anyway, the point is, something went on in that club, no question.
Can't say for certain, though, surely.
What matters most is there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at the place, too.
Oops. Oh, shoot. I meant to press that. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. We're gonna skip it all and press the thing at the end of the thing. Apparently back then it was just a place well-off gentlemen went to hang out. Oh, okay. That makes me feel a little more on target with what we're dealing with.
Matters most is there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at the place, too.
Okay. I think she might just be an apprentice. Lord Van Zeeks was at the club? He was. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted into the room in question as a guest. It looks like there's no disputing that he was there then.
Well, we know that Lord Van Zeeks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he'd already discovered the Inspector's secret notebook.
Which led him to the club, you mean? Maybe. Presumably, then, there are also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregson was there? None have been identified at this time, no. So the all-important victim wasn't seen at this mysterious club.
Oi! Why ain't you asking Lord Inspector Lestrade here, eh?
Okay, so now I'll read this. He's not holding back with that ice-cold stare versus sheer angry face.
Really don't know what to make of all this.
Lord Van Zeeks told us that he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never once mentioned that he met the inspector the day before the incident.
You don't think Lord Van Zeeks could have been lying to us, do you?
That's not the only way to explain this.
Oh!
If everything Lord Van Zeeks has told us is true, then there must be a mistake in this testimony somewhere.
You mean, there are details we've yet to uncover?
Exactly. A clue, perhaps, that even Gina hasn't noticed. That's what we should be looking... Okay, so... The only thing that changed was the name of the club. So now let me look at all of our stuff. I don't remember anything grouse-like. Pika, hello! How are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for 23 months. Oh my god. Does this have anything that says grouse on it? No. I mean, I can't be expected to read all of this. Letter of introduction. Blackbird line. Did I look at this?
Oh, it looks like some sort of steamship ticket.
That says... Oh. Well. Alright. Oh, okay. I just found it. I never looked at this, and now I found it.
This is Grouse, first class cabin 001. Yokohama departure 11 September, London arrival 1st November.
Ah, so that's about Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jiyoku came on from Japan, isn't it?
Yes, I think it's called... I think it called at Dunkirk.
Oh, like it stopped.
It called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving at Dover.
What did Mia say? Yeah, Kazuma's back. He's alive. I'm doing pretty good, Pika. I'm glad to hear it. It seems a shame to not keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you?
Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary.
I keep mine in my wallet so I can have it with me at all times. I love tickets. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone?
Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo?
Did I imagine it? Or was that a comment accompanied by a little sigh? From Mikotoba to the... Okay. So, I don't know, I guess I'll just... Objection. Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. I've read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Ow! Hydrate! Posture check! Yeah, baby. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted. Seriously, is it a mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening in a club called the Grouse? Police are currently looking for evidence, but they haven't found anything definitive yet. And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean, that the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on 31st October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. You're showing a very irreverent attitude towards our country's police force there, Counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? It was a boat! A steamship, in fact, actually. You think it's a ship? I have the evidence to prove it. Here! Let me see that! Ah! This dark-suited young man is not the least bit trustworthy. Untrustworthy. Yeah, the other side, my lord. Be more specific next time. This would appear to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Grouse. Bum, 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 bum. Though there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say, there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port. Ship arrived at the port of Dover on 1st November. Day on which the sound like a gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, 31st October, when the victim was on his clandestine mission, that ship hadn't yet docked on British shores. That would certainly make an undercover I got it. I'm just yelling. My voice for him is just yelling now. What can I do for Strongheart? I don't know. Star, hello! Hydrate. You and Pika, both. The trifecta. Trinity! What if I could make him sound... Ugh, he's just so intimidating. Oh, no. TikTok, it's me, Strongheart. That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging. It's me. This is what I sound like, Lord Strongheart. The fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense's assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question. Show your evidence for that assertion. Very well. I will do that. In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. Evidence that substantiates your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on 31st October. The victim? Okay. So... what do we have to tell about that stuff? Oh my god. The trunk. He has trunk with him. Oh, the passport. Wait. No. Can I, examine him? Yeah! Oh, he's so cute. Oh, hello.
What a charming little rabbity version of Mr. Sholmes. Do you suppose this is how Iris sees him? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Your eyes are veritably boring into the poor doll's ears.
Oh, sorry, I was just wondering. What do you suppose would happen if I were to tug its ears with all my might right now?
I'm sure that we'll find out when the time is right. To become a proper gentleman, you really must learn stoic patience.
But I want to know. Oh, he's so cute, though. Hairlock Sholmes. Beans. I mean, the trunk, maybe? I don't know about this. I've sort of in true Ace Attorney fashion, I've barreled in with a lot of assumptions, a lot of assertions, and I don't know. We're figuring it out as we go. Yeah, I mean, I guess. He had his trunk with him. It's proven. No, that's wrong. She's looking at his clock. Oh my god. I don't care about what. No! Wait. Maybe that was a clue. Hold on. Sure, Gregson was on board that ship the day before his body was found. You know the SS Grouse stopped at the port of Dunkirk. Oh, in France. Oh. I forgot about that part. Oh, okay, so it's his passport. I'm a silly Billy. Passport.
Take that!
Okay. What's this? I'm yelling. Passport traveled issued for the victim. It just gets more and more crazy. Dated 31st October? What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility that he wasn't even in the country. Order, order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized. The day before the SS Grouse arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night.
According to my father, who was on board at the port of Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, France? Countries? What could have possibly have taken the victim there? Ha 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 ha! I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport. What? You mean you knew about this? Prosecution strategy for this trial has been laid out by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations and the line the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something. What? Now that you've expertly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe that something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asugi? Courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts without exception. Let me guess. I'm gonna make it maybe a little more gravelly, how about? Doggersons, hello, welcome, how are you? I'm doing great. Let me guess. This was your intention from the outset, wasn't it? That helps, that makes it different. The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper. The Reaper? Ah! His hair, it's very big. Order, order. What on earth are you saying, counsel? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. I like being louder for him. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. Yeah, he's got a unicorn gavel. I don't know. As I'm sure everyone could imagine by the Reaper's hand. It doesn't really seem like it makes a lot of sense to me. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that. What? Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was, in fact, acting for the Reaper. So, you're saying the mission that he was undertaking was... obviously, an assassination. Did you know that you can't spell assassination without ass? Barak Van Zeeks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast-iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice. And you claim that was Inspector Gregson? Who's holding it?
What the hell do you think is, what the hell? My boss would have never done nothing like that. It's me, Gina.
And then, yet when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense.
No, it can't be. We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper.
Even so, there's no way that the person giving him his orders was Lord Van Zeeks. No, the true Reaper is somebody else. Barak Van Zeeks is not the Reaper. A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man. And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all. Oh? Or wait, he's made out of gravel. Oh, do you have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, counsel? Absolutely, it's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Professor Mikatoba and Judge Ijoku were on that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm sure we would have heard about it. Pugh. What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on board the ship. But I think perhaps you've missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. What? Gregson did board the SS Grouse that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure.
Failure?
It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here.
What are you talking about, detail?
Inspector Gina Lestrade.
What?
The victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from earlier. That doesn't contain details of secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey.
You're lying! Even if all them bludgers what got taken out had it coming. The boss weren't the Reaper. Poor Gina.
There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but you've spent if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors.
I ain't heard nothing, and I don't believe a word of it.
Then testify again as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss.
I don't.
Bonk. I concur. The witness will give new formal testimony. Ms. Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook.
All right, I get, whatever. I don't care. I'm so angry, though. I'm so very angry. Yeah, this notebook does have a load of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. Names of victims, dates, and places and stuff. And the last entry was there on 31st October. All Hallows Eve! It said grouse for the place on the date, and then the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal what got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago or something.
Whoa.
But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all.
Uh-oh, she cried. Oh, no. Keep personal opinion out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here.
This must be so hard for her.
You can't deny it now, surely, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What can't I deny?
The notebook contained the name of the final mark and the location of the where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could have only known if he was working with the Reaper.
Ah!
So, who is to be this final mark? Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade, read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the grouse on 31st October.
Oh, do you mean this? Read this then? How do you read this then? Reading's still not her strong suit. That ain't the problem, all right, Odo. It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's hard to read.
So it's someone from overseas.
Let me have a bash at it. Seishiro. Is it? Yeah, Seishiro. Jigoku, maybe.
What? It can't be. Seishiro Jigoku.
But that's Jigoku.
Seishiro Jigoku, certainly not an English name, you're right.
That can't be right. I know Judge Joku. I saw him the day before yesterday here in London. So I know for a fact that the man hasn't been assassinated.
As I said, the Reaper failed.
Oh.
Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake, so he killed the inspector personally.
No, that's a bad line of logic. He got killed on the ship and they had a refrigerator. That's gotta be the answer.
The Reaper, of course, being the accused. Barak Van Zeeks! It's an undeniably logical argument.
It's not. That's a lot. You're making a lot of leaps. You planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
It's me, I'm the Reaper, hello.
Ah!
Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice while I stand accused of murder.
Stop it! Lord Vanzeeks! What are you absolutely doing?
The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You will return to the dock.
You think he's a frog with the way he's jumping to conclusions.
I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task of this court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. Ah! Well, that girl is no detective.
What? No, that's right, I ain't. I'm an inspector.
Repeating rumors heard around the yard, reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. Well, that's not testimony, it's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you've clearly planned. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I'm the Reaper who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago. But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself.
Thank you, Mia. Have a lovely day.
By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony. What did you say?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is our chance. My lord, the defense requests that the defendants be allowed to speak. You may have privy to important information relating to the testimony just given by the witness.
Very well, I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination. But then allow me to toast the court's impartiality. I don't know why, Unicorn. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately. Hurry up, oh my god.
At once, my lord!
Bum, 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 bum.
Yes, this notebook does have a lot of a load of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years!
In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as a Reaper.
Not you at all! That ain't the only explanation, is it? He could have been investigating the Reaper in secret, and that notebook said what he found out.
If I may, when originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believe the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial.
Happy trails! Hello, good to see you. How are you? But you carried out your own investigations into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you?
Yes, and those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper.
One arm? What are you on about?
The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them all alone. The Reaper is an organization. With you as its head, I had spies at the yard keeping me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. Excuse me. So I'd been able to check the most recent entry in his book. I knew the location.
You knew it said grouse?
Believing it to be a reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went there on the day in question to investigate, alone.
Ah, so that explains why several members of the club claim to have seen you there.
But of course, the inspector was not there. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. Very well then, back to your testimony about the contents of the notebook.
Fine! Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago.
Oh, no, it's alright. I'm overthinking this, aren't I? What do you mean? Very blessed today, that's for sure. Happy to have woke up today. Saw you were alive. Know that you're amazing and loved. Happy trails, what the hell? That's so sweet. Oh my goodness, thank you. Okay, hold on. What? Do we have the note? Can we look at the notebook? No. Of course, why would we be able to do that? Alright, well, let's just keep going.
Names of victims, dates and places and stuff, and the last entry was there, 31st October.
Excuse me. Names of victims, dates, places, and stuff? What in particular?
Well, besides the victims' names, this other name kept cropping up.
What other name was that?
It's the one I told you yesterday, the same name written over and over again.
You mean Asashin? Oh, right, that's the swan lady.
Yeah, that's the one. She's a friend of yours or some odd, isn't she?
Were you even listening yesterday? Asashin. The assassin.
What? Like, a killer, you mean?
Gregson was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable and who to use to get at them. But the person actually executing his plans was someone else, you're saying? His voice has changed quite a bit. If that's true, then the Reaper does not intend to start... Does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes.
Ah, then perhaps what it said on the passport document. Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Could that additional person have been...
Clearly the assassin who was meant to take Seishiro Jijoku's life.
Gina, can you confirm that? Against the final entry that listed Grouse and Seishiro Jijoku... What name was written? Oh, well, that's the only entry that didn't have a name next to it, as it happens. What? It just had like a question mark or something out there, I think.
In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case.
I love his little desk smack. Yeah, it's so great.
But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not?
Oh, how infuriating.
A nameless assassin. It was me, Comfy Catboy. I did it.
It's a grouse on the place on that date, and then the name and the mark.
I'm gonna, open Comfy ass boy.
Yeah, nobody's home anymore, so I can just open my door. Press! Hold it! And you're saying that the mark listed was Seishiro Jijoku? That's what it said. Funny name, if you ask me. And I thought your name was odd.
My name is Odo. So pleased to have lost my crown there. Mr. Jijoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court of Judicature. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago, studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Strongheart. That bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say.
So Lord Strongheart and Judge Jijoku was Judge Jijoku's mentor, Ra.
If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now.
10 years ago? After that fateful case?
Precisely. In the aftermath of the professor case, his repatriation was organized immediately. It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook.
I didn't think it was possible, but the mood in here's gotten even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep talking. I'll just keep going, don't mind me. There was a note about him being a criminal what got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago.
That's pretty important. Is he the real professor? Is that what's going on?
What do you mean a criminal? Judge Jijoku's no criminal. Well, don't ask me. I don't know nothing about it. Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Jijoku did once appear in court here in Britain. It was related to the professor case, I'm sure.
Yes, of course, you're right. Seishiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witness stand. He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged.
Wait.
It was a pitiful situation, yes, I'd forgotten all about it, but I prosecuted that trial too, as it happened.
You did?
It was considered to be an adjunct to the professor's proceedings, you see. But he was acquitted after being told to make a reparation for the damage caused to the stand. And there you have it. Have what? Surely the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court, guilty or innocent alike. And Mr. Kimono, yeah, so this is a DLC outfit, and I just liked it better, so I put it on her.
What? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Jijoku was targeted for assassination?
The man was sent back to Japan immediately after that trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper is.
Come on, that's absurd. To take someone's life for that?
Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd, killing those who have been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension.
But that's crazy. What? just had about enough of this.
Gina?
All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people, it's cobblers! Come on, Odo!
Yes?
Why ain't you saying nothing? Why ain't you yelling out objection to someone?
What?
You've got to find a flaw. You do usually. Someone's lying here, no question. You got to work out who it is. Please, for the boss.
Bum, bum, bum. That outburst was an insult to the court and to your own testimony. I might have known that a common pickpocket from the back slums couldn't make a detective. When this trial is over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Ms. Lestrade. Is that clear?
I've had it with a lot of you. It lies every bleeding place you look in this world, isn't it? Well, I'll have enough. Gina.
So have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind.
You do what, Mr. Naruhodo?
There was one point in this cross-examination when something that was said just didn't sit right with me. One statement seemed odd.
Oh, do you mean?
I'm not gonna let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears. Yeah! Escalation! She literally is upset about her boss being accused. Why is she being fired? Because that's a bad man. I gotta find a flaw somewhere.
Hold it!
I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve. The name of the game. Ah! What do you mean? Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing, just one thing, that defies explanation. One inconsistency. What? An inconsistency?
Really, Odo?
I don't quite know what it means yet, but... Yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... Well... I mean... Gina, right? I mean, I think it's Gina. Of course, by you, Gina.
Of course. What's that supposed to mean, Gina, Mr. Naruhodo?
Gina is the person giving the testimony here, so... If there are any inconsistencies, they can only have been introduced by her. Well, I don't know where you're going with this, but... Maybe the evidence you're obviously about to show the court will clarify. In that case, the defense will present evidence to substantiate its claim. Oh, I don't know. Which piece of evidence? Oh, okay. Well. I don't know. I don't know what we're, like, doing here. It had... Okay. Alright, I don't... Listen. I'm not... I don't... listen, I don't remember what 100% even was said right now. Maybe it's the rabbit. It's probably the rabbit. Okay, so it's about, well, golly. Crimson, hello. Yeah, beans. I don't know. Let me present the passport again. It's probably not that, but it's this. Yeah, it's the proof that I'm not gonna name. All right. Okay. All right. I didn't get a ding for that though. I don't think. Well, there's something in the first section. So. Okay, because he said something to that effect. Something weird. In other words, it shows that Gregson was acting as the Reaper. Not you and all. He was investigating the Reaper. If I may. When people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. Leave the power to intimidate people, but you carried out your investigations. Yes, I did. Gregson was one arm of the Reaper. One arm, what are you talking about? Reaper's an organization with you at its head. No. Had spies. Let me know when he was elsewhere. So I'd been able to check the most recent entry in his book. I knew the location. I knew it said grouse. Believing it to be a reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went there on the day in question to investigate alone. Inspector was not there. Time he was making his way to the steamship docked in the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's trunk. Oh. No, you know, okay, maybe. I don't, how did Kazuma know that, I guess? Okay. I'm gonna guess Kazuma in the. Okay. Namina, what kind of cheese?
Hold it!
Tell me. You have to. I hope it's better. Alright. Yeah, it's sort of strange that, like, they would give us a menu like this, so I think it's gotta be him.
Take that!
Yeah, there we go. Why you? Kazuma Asogi. Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering, Council? No, not from under cheese. It's not from under cheese. You can't do this to me, Crimson. Prosecutor Asogi has given no testimony. What are you suggesting I said that was inconsistent? You let something slip that you shouldn't have. When I presented the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you'll realize what you've done. Very well then, Counsel. Go ahead. Do what? Come on. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Okay. The passport.
Take that!
So, my initial impressions were correct. This is nonsense. Ah! Wait, what? Oh my god. No, stop. So I need to present the metal trunk? I'm saving. That's annoying. This is the only part of these games that I don't like. It's like, alright, I understand now, but you're still making me jump through hoops. The first game didn't have nearly this much of this in there. So, alright, the metal trunk. Metal trunk. Here we go. Metal trunk. We have a lot of evidence.
Take that!
This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson. A metal construction, is it? It's certainly very heavy. What's this? I forgot there was blood on it. A blood stain, and a relatively fresh one, too.
What? You mean that ain't Grace from all the boss's fish and chips?
You are trolling! That's not a real because you can't troll me and then be like, I'm not trolling. Because you say from under my balls or like whatever, right? Like that's how it works. Because it's not a real cheese. Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests that the victim was traveling with that luggage when he was killed. That can't be. There's no mention of any trunk in Scotland Yard's report. Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with that trunk, hoping to sell it.
But I found it, me, with the nose for trouble.
Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. Uh-oh. And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, Kazuma. Because of that time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk? We know the man went on a trip to France. Where else could he have put his passport? But you knew it was a metal trunk. Answer me honestly, Kazuma. On 31st October, where exactly were you? Because he did disappear for a while. At the port of Dunkirk, on board the SS Grouse. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryunosuke? I know the answer, Crimson! Come on. Kazuma, what did you... I hadn't considered the possibility before, but... Kazuma was on that ship then. It could only have been for one purpose.
Oh no, Mr. Naruhodo. Surely you don't think...
Ha 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 ha! Come on, Ryunosuke, you know the rules. The only thing that really talks in the courtroom is hard evidence. As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proven nothing.
Kazuma, are you challenging me to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt? That you were there that day, in the same place as the inspector?
He was there with Gregson.
There's a clue that you've overlooked, a secret that trunk can tell us. I can't be sure at this point, but I need to verify it. But I have a nasty feeling that I'm going to be right.
Yeah, there's a big sword chunk in it. Yeah, there it is, Crimson. Come on, baby. This accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless, we must test it. The defense will identify where the clue is, for God's sake. Yeah, I don't know. Is it maybe the sword? Like the sword piece? Like the thing that is a sword that maybe his sword broke? This is your proof. What do you say to that, Prosecutor Asogi? Personally, I think tying the defense counsel to the inspector's trunk and tossing it into the sea would be more helpful. What do you mean?
What?
At least that way, London's courtrooms will be safe from his destructive accusations.
I believe those are rather... What? I'm getting penal... What do you mean? What? I already looked at it. I looked at it before. I've definitely examined this. Have you seen it? I wonder how it happened. What? I mean, look at this dark stain here. It's blued. Ah! How dare. Can we open it? What a good open. Do I need to look at it like this? It's not getting, like, checked off. But I guess neither is the blood. I don't understand. I'm pulling up the walkthrough. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's clearly this. We'll check to see if his sword tip is broken. And then we'll, you know? Oh my god. Open the, look at this. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Open the lock, turn the trunk around so that it faces the blade fragment on one edge of the lid and present it. Like, stop. You gotta be kidding me. Did I look at this? Yeah, I'm going to present it. I know that it's a dang sword. Stop. Come on. There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here, like the tip of a blade. A blade! Kazuma, can you imagine, like, I don't have a walkthrough, I pick that, it's wrong, and then I'm just stuck for, like, ever? Like, what would I try next? That's very bad game design. Slang around your waist as ever today, slung around, is the esteemed blade Karuma. Karuma, I don't know. Of course it is. Won't you draw it here in this courtroom for all to see? Exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer. Bailiff, watch Prosecutor Asogi like a hawk. That won't be necessary. Yeah, what about the other sword? You have two swords now. Oh no! The tip. Oh, it is broken. It's broken. I see. If the fragment of metal shown from the trunk fits together with the end of the sword, the question of who was there with Inspector Gregson will be answered. I didn't see what... Oh, I presented the blade tip from outside, but you gotta open it, I guess, and present it from the inside. But I've already examined it. It's very clearly a blade tip. I don't know. That seems a little absurd to me. Like, I've already examined it previously. Agreed, Kazuma Asagi?
Expertly done, Ryunosuke. There's a point. That's a point to you, and well deserved. You mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Asogi? Yes, on 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission.
So the additional person authorized to travel
was me. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. What? What? Whoa. On the outside. No, it looked like the same dialogue to me. I don't know. It's the same item. I don't know. You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jijoku? Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one. Explain. I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and I had accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk. But I never had any intention of carrying out the plan. You were never gonna do it.
We can believe Kazuma-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Jijoku arrived safely in London the following day.
Yeah, the first game had a better flagging system. I don't know why this game, like... Some of the technical aspects of the second game are lacking a little bit. On the 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. We traveled to Dover, from where we crossed the Channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Grouse and made for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan.
You went to Judge Jijoku's cabin?
It's so hard to say. It's like a tongue twister. Judge Jijoku. Exactly. He wasn't there, though. We decided to wait, but...
But you've already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway.
I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. Well, that doesn't really make sense. A boarding house in Dunkirk? My signature will be in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify. Then, what became of Jigoku? Gregson was no assassin, so the Mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. What happened? Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met with the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger and end this wretched agent's life. That's so silly. That's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder.
Objection!
Sunset, hello, welcome. But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk? Yeah. I don't need to answer that. What do you mean? The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade isn't relevant to the case. And accordingly, I choose to exercise my right to silence on that matter. Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence. As you wish, my lord. The great sword Karuma has been entered into the record. We must take immediate action now to verify whether Seishiro Jigoku remains unharmed. What? Remains unharmed? I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. How did you... When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise. You don't mean to say that you think Judge Jigoku may have been killed? The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal, and he has the power and influence to give orders from inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zeeks? If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you. He's so determined. Ha ha! Order in this court. We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes. Now? Guests of the symposium have been told to maintain regular contact with the organizer's office. If the man can't be located within half an hour, we will have to assume the worst.
Oh no, not Judge Jigoku! Our favorite character from this game! Everyone's favorite character! Judge Jigoku! He will be missed! Me, Sasato, will miss Judge Jigoku, everyone's favorite character. And the Great Ace Attorney! 1 and 2! Judge Jigoku!
No one would want to kill a harmless Japanese man who'd only just arrived in the country. Except that is... for the Reaper, wanting to finish off a mark that slipped through the net 10 years ago. I would have to agree. Mr. Naruhodo, for the defense's sake. My lord? I sincerely hope we are successful. If we're unable to confirm Mr. Jijoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you will face grave difficulties.
Ah!
Court is adjourned for 30 minutes.
Ow.
And then I think we have a recess now. An investigation mission.
Kazuma-sama,
Based on the spoiler-free walkthrough I have in front of me, just to give me a sense of kind of how many things I need to do before the case is over.
Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare.
I can hardly believe it either. But on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories.
I have such a terrible sense of dread. If something awful was to happen to Judge Jijoku, and I feel as though things will only spiral further into disaster.
I felt it the moment I stepped into the courthouse this morning. That strange sensation that we were careering towards a foregone conclusion. Well, in the worst case, we might only have 30 minutes left. Unfortunately, though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait now. We're out of options.
Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last ear.
Of course! That little Mr. Sholmes doll that Iris gave us. If for some reason you complain about options, just pull the little ears as hard as you can. Break the thing. Perhaps now is the time. What should I do? Pull Harley's ears or not? Yeah, let's go, baby. Hair goes then. I'm going to do it.
Good luck, Mr. Naruhodo.
No looking back. Heave! Ow!
That scream sounded like Mr. Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Here, my dear fellows, here! It's the felt doll talking.
Pull the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can.
All right, then. I'll pull all my strength into it. Heave! Oh, what? Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off.
Mr. Sholmes, where are you?
Myself and my trusty partner are presently in the first-class cabin area of the SS Grouse.
The SS Grouse?
She left over last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. Ow! Best part of the case. Yo, hell yeah. She left over last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded.
Woo!
We are currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour.
You've taken a ship to France?
Please, even with my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump the Straits of Dover. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cab to the station and by train to the port, in order to board the vessel in time.
So you mean you'd already worked it out? That the steamship was where everything really took place?
Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name?
Herlock Sholmes, world-famous great detective!
Recited to perfection, well done!
You're a genius, Mr. Sholmes, that's the only word for it!
Ow, 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 ow! Mr. Sato, gently with this genius's ear, please.
Oh my, I'm ever so sorry.
If I may, Sholmes. It's gotta be the other guy. Ah, there you are, Mikotoba. You may remember... Oh, we get to play as Mikotoba? Oh my god. You may remember that it was in fact I who made the connection to the SS Grouse. At Scotland Yard yesterday, when we examined that notebook and I recalled my steamship ticket. But of course it was, my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. I merely had our court-bound companions utter my name. Yes, you did, didn't you?
You've just entered a recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now. If we're unable to present any new leads then I'm afraid to say...
Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made this journey. Mikotoba POV. Oh! I have no doubt we shall have welcome news for you within the half hour.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That would be wonderful. Woo!
Until later, then.
Yes, you'll be hearing from us if you're not in touch first.
Ow, 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 ow. I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging my ear in that mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea of making a receiver operated in that way in the first place, Sholmes? Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine. Amazing. Oh, how cool. Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of the hour, Sholmes. We have but half an hour now before the Grouse puts to sea again. we don't conclude our investigations rapidly, we shall find ourselves in Naples before long. There are times, Mikatoba, when you make a surprising amount of sense. So, let us begin. This is that's the same guy, it's a different ship. First class cabin number 2, yeah, this is the one. But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing. There's some other guy with like a snake belt. And like he likes snakes a lot. That crewman standing in front of the door is an angry looking fellow. Why are you loitering here? Who are you? I didn't think I'd ever voice this guy again. My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? He's got Sholmes written on his arm. The question really ought to be, who are you? Do you not recognize world-traveling great sailor Chicken Stroganoff? Chicken Stroganoff when you see one. Great detective. Wait, is this the other guy's brother? Oh, what was the other guy's first name? It was Beef Stroganoff. This is Chicken Stroganoff. Come on. That's so silly. Oh my god. I don't think so. They have the same voice. I'm giving them the same voice. They're little fish bandanas. Do you see that, Mikatoba? It would appear this man is a devoted follower of mine. Goodness me, is that a tattoo? It says Sholmes. I must say, whilst an adoration is flattering, naturally, it does leave me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave now. How distressing. My loyal devotee knows me only by my name and not my appearance. And yet I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Like yourself, he's a shipman, currently traveling the world abroad, a Russian steamship, in fact. How could you know this? Elementary, my dear Mikatoba. I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard this ship, you see. We're looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name of Jigoku. There is no man known with this name on board. But we know he purchased a ticket for passage. Ah, you mean Eastern man. He left ship 2 hours ago. Here at Dunkirk, he said something about the emergency, I think. What? Are you sure? Sachio doesn't realize that we're after him, has he? His cabin is the one behind you. We should like to investigate, please. No, I have orders not to let even mouse inside. Mikatoba, be a good man and draw this sailor's attention away, would you? Make up some excuse so that he leaves the area. Doesn't great detective see that even sailors have ears both left and right? Curses, the plan is ruined! And you have only yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Sholmes. Forget it, cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside. Mikatoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you? Opening any lock? Within a mere 5 seconds. So if you'd be so kind as to afford me the requisite time, old friend, in your typically accommodating manner. How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request, old friend? So I need to distract that burly sailor for 5 seconds, do I? Good man, so the game is afoot. Yeah, there he is. That's the quote. Hell yeah, cool. All right, I'm gonna be right back. But I'm gonna take a bathroom break, and I'm like starving. I'm gonna grab a tiny snack. But before I do that, we're gonna turn the music off. I am gonna leave you. A lot of times I'll leave with a YouTube video. But today we are going to Twitter. I'm just gonna shill my stuff. I'm gonna shill my how you say, the things that I sell, because I love you all. All right.
I've edited video.
Oh God, stop. Okay, so here we go. I offer. Can I make this full screen? Yeah, I can. Here we go. I'll be right back. I love. Hi, my name's Comfy, and I've edited videos for all of these guys. See anyone you recognize? Welcome to Hidden Depths, a shorts editing deep dive. In this video, come along with me as I explain my editing process while I'm working. First, we'll create an entire new short from the ground up, starting with the raw video. Together, we'll trim it down, add graphics and sound effects, and form it into a completed final product, all the while giving detailed explanation on everything we're doing. After that, we'll analyze every detail and decision made on another short that I've already put together. You'll gain access to a ton of practical information and theoretical advice, so you'll be armed to the teeth with new tools and knowledge to use when you create your next short. That video's over on my Ko-fi shop. I'd love it if you checked it out. Thanks so much. Hi, my name's Comfy, and I've edited videos for all of these guys. See anyone you recognize? Welcome to Hidden Depths, a shorts editing deep dive. In this video, come along with me as I explain my editing process while I'm working. First, we'll create an entire new short from the ground up, starting with the raw video. Together, we'll trim it down, add graphics and sound effects, and form it into a completed final product, all the while giving detailed explanation on everything we're doing. After that, we'll analyze every detail and decision made on another short that I've already put together. You'll gain access to a ton of practical information and theoretical advice, so you'll be armed to the teeth with new tools and knowledge to use when you create your next short. That video's over on my Ko-fi shop. I'd love it if you checked it out. Thanks so much. Hi, my name's Comfy, and I've edited videos for all of these guys. See anyone you recognize? Welcome to Hidden Depths, a shorts editing deep dive. In this video, come along with me as I explain my editing process while I'm working. First, we'll create an entire new short from the ground up, starting with the raw video. Together, we'll trim it down, add graphics and sound effects, and form it into a completed final product, all the while giving detailed explanation on everything we're doing. After that, we'll analyze every detail and decision made on another short that I've already put together. You'll gain access to a ton of practical information and theoretical advice, so you'll be armed to the teeth with new tools and knowledge to use when you create your next short. That video's over on my Ko-fi shop. I'd love it if you checked it out. Thanks so much. Hi, my name's Comfy, and I've edited videos for all of these guys. See anyone you recognize? Welcome to Hidden Depths, a shorts editing deep dive. In this video, come along with me as I explain my editing process while I'm working. Oops. Alright, hello. It's me. I'm back. I found out that my my roommate is home, so I'm just like yelling with the door open. That's fine. No big deal. Alright, let's turn the music back on. Let's crack this nut wide open. Alright, let's go and examine lots of things. Well, how much room do I have? What if I just press this? Ah, the switch for the electrical lights. Perhaps if I were to turn off the lights, the crewmen wouldn't be able to see what we were doing. I don't know, let's do it. Ah, what is happening? Where is the light? Now, Sholmes, go! Oh my god. Nobody there. That was a close shave. What a knack you have, stumbling so violently into an apparently empty corridor. Do be quiet, Sholmes. I think I shall have to think of another approach. Not the book, not the door. Way back to the deck, but we certainly can't give up on this now. See, now it has flags, but like, ugh, silly. What's all this then? That's a speaking tube for members of the crew who have to communicate with one another around the ship. If I could just persuade our stocky sailor friend that he needed to use it, Sholmes could unlock the door whilst he was distracted. The question is, how? Okay. What's all this then? What a mouse. Must be a mousetrap, I think. Perhaps I could distract the crewman's attention with this somehow. Try it. I don't know. Choo-choo! I'm a mouse. That sounds like a big mouse in a trap. Choo-choo! I will bring a bucket of water later and put it out of misery. I don't like the sound of that. In any case, my dear fellow, that was quite unconvincing. Only Japanese mice make a chew sound. Oh, really, Sholmes? And pray tell, what sound do Russian mice make? PP, naturally, though also quite unconvincing, I readily admit. Go ahead, Mikitoba, do a PP this time. No, thank you. I'm sure I can come up with an alternative solution. If I just sneak in here. Another first-class cabin, and yet its door is completely unguarded. Empty as well. I had a quick look inside earlier, though I confessed I didn't investigate the wardrobe. There may very well be a young Japanese fellow inside, perspiring merrily. You're referring to Naruhodo. You know very well that he's currently perspiring merrily in court. Does it not strike you, though, Mikatoba? Why the man stands guard only in the front of his cabin when both are apparently vacant? Yeah, no, I mean... What if I just talk to him? He's like a Neo Temple, I don't know how to pronounce that, a guardian statue, this fellow, the way he's glaring at us so fiercely. Tell me, why are you standing guard here if the cabin is unoccupied? Because this area is only for first-class passengers. We must look out for suspicious criminals. He was looking straight at me when he said that. My dear fellow, as you can plainly see, we are quite unsuspicious as criminals go. But still criminals. No, for goodness sake, Sholmes, tell the man, we're neither suspicious nor criminals. Ah, yes, quite right, Mikatoba. Curses, this seaman is far too able for his own good. Be extremely careful in what you say. One of us ought to be, yes. Yeah, let's, Oh, I can only I can't talk to him. Okay. What else is there to look at? The door, that, this. The mousy trap, oh. That would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it, set it off. Here goes then. Pardon me in advance. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. What are you doing? If I were at sea, it would be a very bad problem.
What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganoff, report at once.
Sorry, sir, nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. No, not by me, my world-famous... No, as I told you. Now, Sholmes, go. Done. Not even 5 seconds, huh? Well, don't just stand there gawping, my brilliance, Mikatoba. In we go. Oh, yes. They're so sneaky. Oh, what a room. What the hell? Good gracious. It would appear that the occupant of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Those clothes on the floor there. They're Seishiro's, without question. Well, it seems we are just a little too late. Yes, by about 2 hours. Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may well be 2 hours' worth of clues to find in here. That burly crewman may return at any moment, Sholmes. Indeed, he may. Which makes this all the more thrilling. Check the wardrobe. You gotta see if there's a young Japanese man in there. According to the report I was given, Naruhodo was concealing himself in Asogi's wardrobe. Indeed he was, and it was of a similar size to this one. Ah, you must climb in yourself, my dear fellow. What? Whatever for? It was the site of my first fateful meeting with Mr. Naruhodo. You can experience the moment for yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now, in you go. This will only take a moment. Really, Sholmes, surely you can just tell me what you said. Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer. I think I'll just read about it in The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. You're not gonna open it? Come on. Quite the exquisite glass, I must say. See here how Is something wrong, Sholmes? You've suddenly trailed off. Ice, Mikatoba, ice! What opulence and the first-class passengers enjoy. Chilled drinks! Pardon? Could it be that this steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, do you think? Well, it is a luxury. This is literally what I said. Niuchu, hello. Good, it's morning for me still. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Suddenly, Mikatoba, the sight of you is making my mouth water. I haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know. Okay, so this ship has a refrigeration thing. It's going very well. How are you doing? We're on the last case of this game. And we're doing some investigating. There's a speaking tube here. Look, though it's been stoppered with some cloth. So the voices of the crewmen on the bridge aren't an annoyance, I suppose. Or indeed, so that the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere. Could something have happened in here that was for no one else's ears, do you think? Jeez. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Let me see. Let me look at the spoiler 3 walkthrough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many more sessions this is gonna be. Maybe tomorrow, but I can't run crazy late today or tomorrow just due to, like, I have a lot of stuff I gotta get done. 2 hours. It's gotta be more than that, probably. If I'm reading it all out. But maybe we could beat it by tomorrow. Either that or it could be to prevent snakes from entering. That's really become a favorite case of yours, hasn't it? Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, this game is fun as hell. I love these a lot. If you if you don't hate visual novels, I guess I should say, like, the original trilogy goes on sale all the time. And this game has been out for a couple years now, so I'm sure anytime there's a Capcom sale, which I think there is. Hold on. Is there a Capcom sale right now? Oh, shoot. Hold on. Indeed, let us pry. Could I hit the menu real quick? I'm like clicking and it's like, yeah, you wanted to click on the game, right? I think that, they all appear to be on sale, yeah. Everything's half off right now. So this game right now is only 20 bucks, and the original trilogy, which is 3 games, it looks to be $10. Yeah, forget about it. That game is 67% off. Absurd. Forget about it. It now is the time. I have played Inscription. I really, really, really liked Inscription a lot. There's so many genres for it. I know this. A huge Fujoshi fan? What is that? I don't know what that is. Okay, but here we go. I've discovered recently I have a penchant for exploring the contents of others' waste paper baskets. I sincerely hope that only for your work. Get in there. Why is your room so dusty? Give it a dust. Give it a vacuum. Ah! Here we have a notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago. 3 days ago? The night before we arrived in London, then. When I was still aboard myself. Following departure from the port of Dunkirk, all crew members are required to ascend... Okay. Rotten girl. Oh, BL fan. Oh, okay. Well, you dust it, but then you gotta vacuum. It was evacuation drill. I remember now. I got you. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once. The court record. Oh, I can't look at that. Oh, okay, dope. I can't look at the court record. That's fine. Warning! Here, those are the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Additionally, there are severe punishments for stowing away in wardrobes and or travel cases. I feel the rules have increased since I last read them. Probably just my imagination. What about the fact that they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't that strike you? You may be right. Probably just your imagination, though. A trifle. And you know what I always say, Mikatoba. There is nothing important about trifles. Probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off. Look in the chest. A very sizable trunk indeed. Seishiro is partial to all things large. And a rather clumsy fellow if he failed to notice he'd left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. Lighter than you might think, but it's still a hindrance to a speedy escape. Pity, it's locked, so we can't look inside. Surely 5 seconds from now, the situation will be quite different, though. Sadly not, this has a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not a morose enough mood to work through all the combinations at present. Yeah, okay. That's fine and fair. Plenty of reading material to keep passengers occupied on the long sea voyages. Yeah, his name is Herlock Sholmes. It's not Sherlock Holmes. I found the mixture of classic literature and easy reading to be most satisfactory, I must say. Whoever stocked this bookcase was a hopeless heretic. There's no copy of the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, my dear fellows. I'm afraid it's just me, but no, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible. I shall leave a copy behind. I just happen to have one with me. You're a true missionary of the Church of Great Detectives, aren't you? Man, I want a whole game that's just these two. Are you kidding? This is great. Oh, I love it. Look at the clothes, I guess. His fit goes so hard. Oh, man. And then he gets, like, kind of hunky when he's, like, in his sort of at-home clothes. His, like, hair's all out. Forget about it. That's a substantial heap of clothes on the floor. An overcoat, shirts, a dressing gown. Momohiki work trousers, a Tanzan robe, a haramaki waistband. Clearly the clothing of a Japanese man. And clearly, Japanese men are unaccustomed to the culture of the wardrobe. Looks to me as though they've been thrown in a heap like that in something of a hurry. See his muscles through his jacket. He's not, like, so ripped. He's pretty stocky, honestly. Indeed, if you could help yourself to a Japanese man's shirt, perhaps? I'm sure you made mention of packing too few. I'd very likely drown in one of Seishiro's shirts. No, I'll just buy any extras I need, I think. Okay, we've looked at that, looked at that. Is there... There we go. Oh, that got moved to a different part of the wall? The wall is a slightly different color just here, do you see? Indeed! What you have observed arises when a frame that has been hanging for some time is removed. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure. Could be skinny and muscular. That's true, that's true. He may very well be the elusive thief who's been plaguing France's galleries of late. I think perhaps we should focus our attentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? That outline on the wall. I feel as though I've spotted something of a similar shape and size somewhere. Yeah. Oh, hello. You are still here. Ah, Able Seaman Stroganoff, hello again. I was beginning to think you'd never materialize. You were waiting for me. Of course, I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner. I was in trouble with Captain because of trick you played before. Poor innocent chicken. It was all your fault. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off now. Ah! Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done. What are you talking about? Why, naturally, the debunking of your deceit and the barring of the truth. Naichu, I love you. Boo, 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 boo. Kakoi. I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Gyoku has not yet left this vessel at all. Ugh. And for another, my dear Steven Stroganoff, you know exactly where the man is, even as we speak, don't you? Oh, how can you? Good gracious, Sholmes, you mean you've worked it out, all of it? It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. Newchu? Oh, okay. Newchu. Take notes. It's nice. So, would you care to join me for a dance of my inimitatable logic and reasoning? Nothing would please me more. We get to do one with him? What is this? Oh! We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. Yeah! Time is of the essence. Oh my god. Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Chijoku left the ship some 2 hours ago. That is what I said. Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. It's the ice. Ah, yes, of course. I see you've noted it too, Mikotoba. Then please, do take lead. What in this cabin shows the impossibility of Chijoku having disembarked 2 hours ago? Let's see what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills then, Mikitoba. It's been 10 years since we last did this, Sholmes, not 3. Why, of course it has, quite. Now, all the clues are here in this cabin for your eyes to see. But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe. Yay! Observe and the answers become clear. So, impress me. I think I can manage that. It's the eyes.
Take that!
Whoa, he's got a voice? What? What? He's tap dancing. Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass. How curious that the ice shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. Ugh. It would appear that the man was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival.
It's called pizzazz.
Well, with this well-chilled glass in hand. Get your mind off the refreshment, Sholmes. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? But why would Seishiro run from us? Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins of the SS Grouse are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jiyoku were accommodated on in your voyage from Japan? Ah, that's right, they are. I was in the cabin next door, and Seishiro was, yes, 50 days in this cabin during our voyage. As I suspected, for you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jiyoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing of this. This is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Sholmes, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice. Something out of place? It's the picture. That's the key to this, Mikitoba. That's the key to this, Mikitoba. The remnants of the dark deed that took place in here are being masked by something quite incongruous. I must say, I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikitoba. No, quite, but life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we well know. Now then, let's see if we can uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow.
Take that!
Probably that. Boom. Yeah! He's dancing. It's the rules of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall as if they were put there in a hurry. Yes, as I'm sure you've already concluded. That frame was originally over here. The size and shape are a perfect match. Duh, you are right. When did the frame move? Hardly the most observant of crewmen, are you, Mr. Stroganoff? I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Oh dear, that really seemed to touch a nerve. So, Mikitoba, why don't you lift that frame off the wall? Okay. Whoa! That's a gunshot. That looks like a bullet hole. What? Who has been shooting walls? I see, the projectile has been removed. Clearly, the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff. I have the distinct impression that you're attempting to shield said occupant. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern Stranger? Oh, so we're talking about the same man, I see. Good. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense as clearly shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, Sholmes. My dear Mikitoba, simply keep first principles in mind. Hydrate, posture check, you got it. Study your subject from every angle, and I'm quite sure you'll see it. In fact, I'd put a wager on it. So I'm to glare at the fellow from all sides. Well, I can certainly do that. All sides, you say? Chunky arms. Wad of banknotes.
Take that!
He's been bribed, baby. Oh! I love him. It's almost too obvious for words. Right, the universal language of the world, money. Ugh. And I'd wager that the Eastern fellow in question is Seishiro Chijoku, yes? Gah! So I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. But... I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Mr. Chijoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. Oh, he's looking. Is he in the trunk? As always, Mikitoba, in matters of deduction, the furtive glance is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something there, Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly fellow's armor. We need only follow the man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. The slightest flicker of the pupils, a minutely delayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceptible. You could hardly call this barely perceptible, Sholmes. The man's turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. We shall let your tapping toes decide, my dear fellows. Leaves a wad of cash out in the open. No wallet? He's a sailor. What's he need a wallet for? Maybe it's the large trunk. Where, I mean, like, is he looking at the trunk?
Take that!
Sort of hard to tell. Yeah, okay, he's in the trunk. He's hiding. Yeah, tap it, baby! You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? Truth is, Seishiro Chijoku was unable to escape from the ship in time, and is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk. If he still has a breath to take, I fear he may be running dangerously low on air. I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it would be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. One gust of wind and the cast flies away. But how can we? If you're forgetting about the combination lock, we don't know the 7-digit code. Combination lock can't be opened from inside the trunk. Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after, of course. In short, that before Chijoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. As I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff. Oh, it's upside down. It just looks like it says Sholmes. No, I know nothing about combination code. Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Huh? What? Now, Mikitoba, would you do the honors and open the trunk? How on earth do you expect me? It's a 7-digit number, remember? Quickly now, we have little time. Well, wait. S H O L M. Wait. Review source? Wait. That's a 2. So 5, 2, 3. I gotta do it backwards. Hold on. 5, 2, 3. 1, 0, 4, 5. 1, 0, 4, 5.
Take that!
I think. Yeah! I did it. I opened a trunk. Ooh, baby, baby. That did it. It's open. You had to meddle, didn't you? This is the judge again, finally. He's... Well, Eugene, you found me now. Seishiro. Cozy! Big Wayne. Hello. I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you in here, you know. But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it. No, quite. I just wish it was some other way. Well, are you ever going to introduce me? Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes. I've read stories of many of your exploits. Stories of many? Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Mr. Chijoku, my old friend and traveling companion. You're going home? What do you mean you're going home? Want a wrap from that place? Yeah, I do. Very much. Thank you. You're not going back to work? The devil is in the details, Mikitoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion, who made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour. I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Oh, wait, that was the wrong... Well, Seishiro, you gonna explain all this? You know all by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago... You guys are indoor, outdoor cats? Which one would you be? Indoor cats, 1,000,000%. Maybe Cozy would be outdoor. Oh, I didn't... Oh, I understand. Okay. Well, dope. I mean, I'll see you soon. You know it all by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here in this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey, yes, I've since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. And I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed until goodness knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it. Afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now. I feel like I'd like to be hybrid. I love outside. Also the comforts of inside. Yeah, I feel like if you had to choose, you'd choose outside. But I'm an indoor cat, baby. Of course, I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you. Somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamships are in very short supply. Sharky, hello. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. Sometimes I feel like a homebody, and then I get an overwhelming need to touch grass. The cabin just happened to be available, so I purchased a ticket, and here I am. I've seen for myself the obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin. So you'd already purchased your return ticket before we even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else from taking this cabin and seeing the evidence, is that it? Eugen, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes, this ship will set off in its onward voyage and not make port again until Italy. Algen, hello! I'm afraid we must insist that you disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this, Seishiro. Take it. What is it? It's a subpoena from the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this from the British courts would be. Oh, he angy. You came prepared then, Eugen. Come on, let's go. One moment. What is it, Sholmes? Inside Mr. Jijoku's trunk? What is it? I found this rather fascinating trinket. What is that? Seishiro. I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. But what, I have no idea. By the look on his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know. Yeah, he's got a big beard. Well, let us pocket this as a small souvenir of our brief sojourn in France. The small component of whatever it is right here, baby. Well, young Naruhodo, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on the shoulders of you and your assistant. Yay. Bloop. We're back, baby. Kazuma Asogi. I know you, and I know you wouldn't lie, but still, there's no doubt. Did you enjoy the best deduction section? That was fun. The tappy back. Silvasay, hello, how are you? Slivasay. Slives, hey! These character designs go so hard that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. Bonk. During the past 30 minutes while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. But sadly, Mr. Jijoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained. We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed. I just call you Moon. I'll do my best to remember that. I'm not. I mean, how is it pronounced? Where's the capitals? There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for an immediate verdict.
Objection.
I like Moon.
Objection.
No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Ryunosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword.
Let Van Zeeks go.
And you should know never to presume when the battle is won. The court has already been presented with all the evidence and heard all relevant testimony. Leo, hello! Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. There can only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty. All relevant testimony, far from it. There's still a crucial witness from whom the court is yet to hear a single word of testimony. In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, counsel. Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible.
The witness is already on his way and scheduled to arrive tomorrow.
Who on earth is this crucial witness? Seishiro Jijoku. The very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper. Judge Jijoku? You found him? Why didn't you just say that? He's keeping everybody on the edge of their seats. But the investigations of every policing resource in the capital suggest that Jijoku is already dead. How in the name of God did you find the man? He was located in France during the recess at the port of Dunkirk. Thanks to one of Mr. Herlock Sholmes' famous deductions. Herlock Sholmes. Inspector Gregson almost certainly met with Mr. Jijoku on the night of his death. Because along with Prosecutor Asogi, Gregson was on a mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Seishiro Jigoku is the sole witness who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Grouse on the 31st October. Sorry I haven't been coming to your lives. Hey, no apologies needed ever, baby. Your tweet using the Edgeworth image made me watch Speederoo's Phoenix Wright cartoon. That's a good one, yeah. Yeah, he's got it's a gavel. It's a unicorn gavel. But it's also like a cane. I don't know what's going on. The only good police officer. What do you mean? You forgot about Gina Lestrade, Aljan, the best police officer. The most competent and good. Well, it would appear that it's too soon to move to adjudication at this point. The prosecution concurs. The court must hear Mr. Jijoku's testimony. No judgment should be passed until all testimony has been considered. Bonk. In that case, I hereby call the end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side? No, my lord. No objections, my lord. We live to fight another day by the skin of our teeth. Not a police officer yet. In my heart, she is. Posture check, thank you. Is that it? Ah, beans. Alright, so here's the deal. There is apparently, I'm gonna keep going because the next bit has 3 things that I need to do. So we're gonna do those things and then we'll call the stream. And then I suppose tomorrow we can probably get through the next 2 sections. It doesn't look like there's that many inputs. I have a spoiler 3 walkthrough that I'm using just to gauge how kind of far I am. Flute, hello. Oh geez, Scoop. The unexpected halt of proceedings sent a clamor around the courtroom. How are you doing, Flute? Flute. But outside the Bailey, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night. Then, at a little past 8 o'clock that evening, Mr. Sholmes and his partner returned to Baker Street. I am well. Hell yeah. Whoa, that's a whole chicken dinner. We have returned, my dear fellows. Welcome back to Britain, and thank you for your timely help. Think nothing of it. I believe you've had an even more wearing day than Mikotoba and I know. Making some coffee? Hell yeah. You could say that. We were on the brink of defeat in court earlier. So this prosecutor, Asogi, you had on the ropes, did he? He's your best friend, you say? Well, he's not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Kazuma's really changed. I'm doing excellent. We're gonna knock out this little bit, and then that'll be it.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
My boyfriend, Sholmes. Hydrate, you got it. I mean, it's incredible. To think that he'd even entertain the idea of acting as a Reaper's assassin. Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse. Watch, my cat had an epic fail. What happened? When this all started, almost a year ago now. Ah! Mr. Sholmes still hasn't told us the truth about what really happened back then. About the motivation for what he himself described as the great detective's lie. Now then, I must say, it's really quite a journey all the way to France.
Well, it is another country, Mr. Sholmes. So, what news of Judge Ijoku?
Tried to jump and miss. No! Tragic. We took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there have a lot of questions for the man. Poor Professor Mikotoba, this must be quite a shock for him. Ah, yes, I picked this up at the telegraph office on our way home.
I do that.
What is it? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday. You put upon me, Sholmes. I had to fill out your telegram into Japan and foot the bill as well.
Oh, you've had a reply already?
What was so urgent, though, Mr. Sholmes? Such matters can wait until later. I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present. Well, that's God knows, because supper is ready, everyone! Ah, and what a feast it is! If I were none the wiser, I'd think the trial were won already. Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak, and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding. Tomorrow could be a very long day, so add up! Don't need to see what all these redeems do. Woo, 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 woo! In that case, I'll seat myself just here. This place appears to be the only set with a helping of pheasant as well. Oh, sorry, Helen, not there. Why ever not? Are we in set places this evening? Yes, and in that place is for Susie's daddy. For me? That's right, I made it especially for you, Professor Mickey. I see, well, that's terribly kind of you. You got all the only British food, these 7 items. Float!
Tell me, when can I leave to be on my own?
I love you. It's a shame, really. What do you mean? Well, for a brief moment I believed that Susie and I were half-sisters, I mean.
Oh!
Face redeem. Yo, that movie sucks. It's like pretty bad.
Iris, do you mean?
Yes, I know now. I overheard yesterday. I secretly listened in on the conversation you had after I tricked you all into thinking I'd left. What? What? Secret comment. It sucks on I don't know. I don't think so. I think the American translation was just like, yeah, I don't know. Let's get Pauly Shore. A misunderstanding arose because of that autopsy report from 10 years ago. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikotoba are Iris's father. What? Yes, about that, Iris. You know I know. You can't tell me at the moment.
Oh, Iris.
The voice acting alone, it's very funny. I own it on DVD. Starspice bought it for me on DVD. The pheasant is a way of an apology. I'm sorry for eavesdropping. Oh no, that's quite alright. Then why don't I get any apologetic pheasant? So who is Iris's father? Suppose that's not something we'll be finding out today. Woo! So then, let us dine while our largely pheasantless plates are still piping hot. Fine idea, Sholmes. It all looks absolutely delicious. we did a Discord stream of it. And as much as you like, there are always seconds, except for the pheasant. None for you, Sholmes. This could be our last chance to ask questions before tomorrow's trial. About that telegram from Japan and about Kazuma. Learning missing fathers, name a more common pair. I can't let this opportunity slip away. Look at him. Feet on the couch. Stop. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Good question. Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Mikotoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, I felt the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and look on with hungry eyes. Sorry, Holly, but I cooked that pheasant especially for Thursday's dinner. Even though I played the role of father to you for far longer. Mr. Sholmes, can I discuss some things with you? Certainly, my dear fellow, I find myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation. No doubt you're hungry to learn more of my deep love of the game. Like pheasant, I can probably contain my curiosity on that one. The Victorian brooding and yearning. You needn't look at me in that fashion. In what fashion? It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss. Stop it! Sholmes! Alright. So, what was in the telegram you received back from Japan then? This, I thank my lucky stars that arrived in...
Get some help.
In time. Record found as indicated. Duplicate follows. K. Asagi. A. Oh, it's this. A. Shin. T. Gregson. J. Wilson. What? Those 4 names. That was at the end of the first game. We've come across that exact same list before. I was wondering when this was going to pop up. They came up in that unforgettable case last spring. Hydrate. Oh, hello. You got it. What appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be masking monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states, and exposing the means by which those secrets are being leaked, we deciphered a fragment of the message. How are you? K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. But we didn't find the names out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that the information had been sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan. So, why are these names coming up again now?
Yes! Where did the sender of your telegram discover them, Mr. Sholmes?
I have here the message I had wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. Enter Judge Jidoku's office undetected and investigate telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. List of 4 names. Need by tomorrow. Naruhodo. I sent it to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of this nature.
You asked Inspector Hosonaga to undertake such an onerous task for you?
I'm a little sad that we didn't get more with this guy. We never find out why he had a mouth bleed. Did we ever get back to it? Do we ever find that out? And in my name? I wonder what guise he opted for this time. My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand. Anyway, the list of names was found in Seishiro's office, as Sholmes predicted. He's got, like, this mouth bleed problem, that character that we just saw a picture of. But he just sort of isn't, like, around, and it was sort of this piece of intrigue. I guess there's still case left, but I don't think he's here, so, like, I don't know if we're ever gonna figure that out. So you mean the mysterious collection of names that was sent to you from Britain to Japan was...
It was sent to Judge Shidoku! He was the intended recipient!
I don't believe it.
But that doesn't answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies.
It was when he coughed, specifically, so... It seemed like he was dying, or I don't know. I did formulate a hypothesis about that. But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it.
Mr. Sholmes,
he looks deadly serious for once. The telegram from Japan has entered the court record. The tragedy that we had to go through on the SS Buria. It was all for nothing. Kazuma wasn't dead after all. We were completely taken in by the lie you told us, your great detective's lie. I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. What? Yeah, this takes place in the late 1800s in England, so there's not a lot of technology, except for what they kind of make up that Sholmes has invented, like the walkie-talkies, for instance. You're notorious for dying a lot. That's true. I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan.
His remains, you mean?
Precisely, Miss Sasato. And then, I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead.
Oh my, you mean?
The arrangement between our two countries was already in place. One university student lawyer and one judicial assistant to be accompanied on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Asogi, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on our shores for several years at least. Wait, do you mean to say that it was all in aid of stopping Kazuma from coming to Britain? That's why you... Arsenic in the wallpaper? Oh, no. Think back, Mr. Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue on the voyage to England? Terms of his study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. This is Hosonaga. The light of Mr. Asugi's unfortunate death. I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. And in flashback, she's got this uniform too. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer and the study tour can continue, surely.
But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer.
The voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Gave a pretty green color. Oh, no. So, you manipulated me. I've often remarked on the extraordinary lengths to which friendship will drive a man. I was quite sure that you would rise to the challenge for your late friend.
I don't believe it. But if it was all contrived... I mean, what happened was treated by the authorities as murder. A woman was mistakenly arrested as the perpetrator. What do you suppose became of her?
Naturally, I didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussions. Bamboozle! I subsequently explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought. I seem to remember Miss Sasato and I had some rather strong words for her. Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. Wonder if she made it to America then.
I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Sholmes? Why are you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain?
Bamboozle. The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of impending tragedy, you see.
Oh!
An omen that, at this very moment in time, is close at hand. An omen of these tragic events that already existed a year ago is close at hand? We need to find out what he's talking about. Let me stop monologuing about... What? Oh. Yeah, we'll present this. There's no room for doubt with your instructions in this telegram, Mr. Sholmes. You were very clear that it was Judge Jidoku's office that should be searched, so... You obviously knew that's where the list of names would be found. Excuse me.
Keisogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson.
But we only learnt of those 4 names just over 6 months ago now. And only because they appeared as part of the top-secret government communications that were leaked. That's true, yes. But at the time, you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that, approximately this time last year, in fact, when you both were still in Japan. It really would be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets. Because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communications between the British and Japanese governments. You're perpetually doing what? How? Never mind the details. Whatever. Who cares? But you should know. No secret is safe from Herlock Sholmes when he has designs on knowing it.
Oh my, Mr. Sholmes. What a fabulous line.
Now, 1 month after that list of 4 names was wired to the recipient Jijoku in Japan, Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. As soon as I learnt of the incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. And as it turned out, I was partially correct and partially mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow.
Mr. Sholmes, please, tell us all you know. For God's sake, tell us about those names. Jesus! Hurry up!
Alright. As I said when I learnt of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names because, you see, there was someone else on the list who I believe to be recently deceased. What? Who? A Shin, as it was transcribed in Japanese script. In actual fact, Ms. Asa Shin. Asa Shin. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's unsavory classes. Thank you so much, Nuchu. I'll see you next time. Oh, I see. But she had completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed. And accordingly, I became fearful for the lives of the remaining 2 persons on the list.
Ah, Kay Asaki and T. Gregson.
Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself. But I determined it would be safest if young Asugi were to stay away from Britain. Ah, so that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going ahead. Exactly.
So, you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh yeah, Sholmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years. I recounted many tales about Asugi to him in my letters, and the news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course. So, Dr. Wilson is dead then? I didn't know.
Oh, Iris.
I know he wasn't my daddy, but still, that's very sad.
I'm so sorry, Iris. We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but we couldn't bring ourselves to tell you.
No. Well, what you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie in with the facts. There's one big hole in your hypothesis.
A big hole, Mr. Naruhodo? Tell me more about a big hole.
Ah, yes, you mean about Asa Shin, I presume.
Oh, of course.
Exactly, she wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan, posing as a visiting student under the assumed name of Giselle Brett. I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow. But I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago, in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel.
Ah!
And upon hearing that startling revelation, the hypothesis that I'd formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy. What? Topsy? Topsy hypothesis. What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned topsy? I believed all 4 names on the list to be the names of victims. However, I was mistaken. Very much so. Asa Shin was a killer. So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed, and it would seem that Ms. Shin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Her visiting student status being merely a front.
Ah! Which would of course explain why no motive could be determined for her actions.
So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Asa Shin is because he was the target of an assassination. And forearmed with that knowledge, fresh consideration on this telegram put the list in a very different perspective. What do you mean? Well, does it not strike you there is another among the 4, who subsequently became a visiting student? Wait, you mean... But of course, a name you know only too well. You mean Kazuma?
Oh!
He did say in court earlier today. Yes, on October 31st, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. Young Mr. Asogi accepted that mission a year ago now.
Surely not.
In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say, detailing an assassination exchange. Assassination exchange? How could Kazuma possibly have gotten involved in something like that? Oh my god, this is crazy! Let's assume that we have 2 parties, each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those 2 parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That would be an assassination exchange.
So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Japan, where she kills her target. Then the Japanese assassin is dispatched by a visiting student to Britain in order to eliminate his target. It certainly does sound like an exchange.
Thank you for explaining what an exchange is, Sasato. But what on earth is the point? Don't forget, Naruhodo, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction. Thanks to diplomatic immunity afforded by consular jurisdiction. Oh, yes. Such jurisdiction would be null and void under the terms of a new treaty between our two countries. So the fact that it was brought into play suggests intervention at the very highest levels. The highest levels? These murders were two sides of the same coin, linked not by a common motive, but by contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated, yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular devilish scheme. That disassociation and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. But wait a minute, Miss Holmes. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins as you're suggesting, it would mean that the Japanese killer target was never Seishiro Chijoku at all. It would mean that Asogi's target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? Kazuma was here for Gregson? But Judge Chijoku wasn't actually the mark?
Yes, that's exactly what that would mean.
I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe.
Mr. Sholmes.
I told him of my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. Oh, that's why he was going to France. Obviously, with the young pickpocket in tow. Yes, Gina. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention that to us at the Great Exhibition, that he'd be transferring to the Paris police and taking Gina with him. But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. This is too much to take in. Alright, everyone, that's quite enough of all that serious talk about one thing. Isn't it, Harley? I mean, look at the time. Ah, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow. What preparations? Well, I think I shall take my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember. It is a little bit sad, though. I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy. Because then Susie would have been my big sister. I'm sorry, Iris.
I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing.
Wow!
But if somebody like me would be worthy, I would be delighted to become your sister.
What? Really?
Oh yes, without question.
So, you'll teach me all the ways you know to throw Runa on the floor? I think there's a little more involved in that than just saying your sisters.
Yes, yes, of course, it would be my pleasure.
You didn't have to agree quite so readily. Oh, but wait a minute. If Susie's gonna be my big sister, you could be my big brother if you want, Rena. Huh? I mean, yes, of course. If you'll have me, I'll gladly... What is happening? Well done, Iris. We must always be mindful of feelings. I've raised you so well. Ha 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 ha! As being sensitive is your strong suit, naturally. Come on now. Right, I'm gonna work extra hard for tomorrow now because it's for my big brother and sister. What is all this talk about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing for what? Honestly, that was adorable. Haha! You just have to wait and say. Oh. Good luck in court tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance. I'll do my very best, of course. So the overnight break in the trial's proceedings became a crucial turning point, exposing new truths whilst posing new conundrums. That list of 4 names on the telegram in Judge Jijoku's office, and the extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend had somehow become involved. I felt as though I had been plunged into an even greater darkness all of a sudden, but at the same time, I'm sure I'd feel the light soon. Because I was lucky enough to have the most wonderful family in the world. Oh, come on. You can't do this to me, game. Oh, my goodness. Standing steadfastly behind me. To be continued. Okay, that was perfect. That was exactly as long as I expected. Hell yeah. All right, well, hopefully we're going to finish the whole game tomorrow. If we have to run a little late tomorrow, I'm certainly going to do that. I expected the final case to be multiple. It doesn't look like there's that many decisions to be made, but it's the end of the game, so there's gonna be just a lot of text that happens. So hopefully, we're gonna do that. And now, here we go to the end of the stream. Up. We're gonna exit the game, baby. Oh my god, don't save now. I love you all to absolute pieces. Again, we're gonna be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. West Coast American time. That is in 21 and a half hours. I got a half shift. Hell yeah. It's gonna be great. I said I wanted to quit the game. You didn't let me quit the game. Okay, I quit it. It's done. It's over. I love you all to pieces. I have a few things. We're gonna find somebody to raid. But in the meantime, I have my card. I want to show you a few links. I have my card. That is a one-stop shop to all things Comfy Catboy. If you want to commission any of the stuff that I got going on, and or check out my Ko-fi shop where I have videos on how to like do video editing, that kind of thing. I would love if you check it out. Additionally, we have the link to the Discord. It's a beautiful place full of lovely, lovely people. I would love to see you there. And then last but not least, we have all the links to my YouTube channel. There's something for everyone in the list of all those things, those dang old things. And I think that you will enjoy what you see. I hope you like what you see. This is a little unconventional. No, let's see. Let me browse Ace Attorney. Yeah, let's see. Maybe we'll go into regular Ace Attorney. Let's find someone. Here we go. A VTuber? We're gonna make a new friend today. That doesn't look like English. Let's go with this person. They're a furry. By definition. Alright. Yeah, they've also just started. So, that'll be great. I love you all to pieces. If you're a subscriber, you can copy and paste that raid message. And if you're not a subscriber, give it a think. But, you know, no pressure, certainly. It helps me out, but I honestly prefer if you guys want something that, you know, you use your money in a different way. So that Twitch isn't getting a cut, you know what I mean? And y'all get more value. But I appreciate the heck out of any and all support. I love you all dearly. We're gonna be real cool. To Melly Aria, we're gonna make a new friend today. I'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. West Coast American. I'll see you then. Goodbye. Boo, boo.